Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. If this is your first time watching my video, thank you and welcome. My name is Tantra Goddess and I make intuitive videos for the collective. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video with your friend and anyone that you think might have the need for it. Thank you for always coming back to watch my video. And thank you for always supporting this channel because it encourages me to always come back. I know that I've been MIA, but I've had a lot going on in the past couple of weeks, but I'm definitely back. So there will be more videos posted during this time. So today I want to talk about Venus going retrograde in Leo. So this will happen on the 22nd of July, 2023. And it will be retrograde until September 3rd of 2023. So let's talk about Venus for a little bit. Venus is the second planet away from the sun, which is why our Venus always falls between the sign or two signs away from the sun. So if you are a Virgo, you either have Venus in Leo, Virgo, or maybe Libra. So Venus signifies love, it signifies beauty, luxury, and anything related to our possessions and values, such as money, pleasure, relaxations, or even things that are beautiful, to the eyes. So now that we're familiar with Venus, let's move into Leo. So Leo is a masculine fire sign ruled by the sun, and Leos want to be in charge. They like to be treated like royalty, but at the same time they can be softies, and they want to give and receive love and affection, which is why most often we see Venus in Leo natives with a big heart. When Venus is in Leo, it signifies creativity, fun, entertainment, children, and this is because the sun is the lord of Leo and it rules the fifth house. So when Venus is here, it brings out a pronounced taste, talent, and beauty in heart that is very childlike. So retrograde in astrology always signifies a time of reassessment, reflection, and although the sun and the moon never retrograde, all other planets travel backwards, including Venus, Uranus, and Neptune. Venus in Leo retrograde can highlight the following during this period. So number one would be there could be some issues related to your childhood come up during this time that needs to be resolved, whether it's your belief system or the values, or maybe the things that you did as a child, the ones that you loved to do as a child. All of this can come back to the surface. The way that you can undo this is by putting back the lessons that you've learned, making use of the lessons that you've learned in the past to get through this period. So number two, because Venus brings creative outlets, there might be a slowdown or the need to always revisit and revise whatever creative outlet that you put out on the internet. If you're an influencer, so whatever content that you want to put out, make sure that you check multiple times to make sure that it's adequate. Okay, some might even be lazy. If you're a content creator, you might realize that you're just lazy to create content, or your creativity has slowed down a little bit, because Venus is a planet of love and it is in a sign of Leo, which is ego, and it's transiting backwards. So speaking of love, I've seen many astrologers talk about a big deal or make a big deal out of your relationship or your marriage falling apart. But if you have a relationship and a marriage that is solid, no retrograde can break that bond, as long as you both are aware that there's always work to do. So for some, there might be some issues that arise in your love life, but it's nothing that cannot be resolved. So even if any issue come up in your relationship, it is likely to be resolved when Venus stationed direct in September. And the key here is to be patient with your partner, with your husband, wife, or whatever situation that you're in. Just be patient until Venus station direct. So number four, Venus rule finances, good times, how we present ourselves to the world. And the sun rules Leo, which symbolize ego, again, self-confidence. Therefore, there's possibility of low self-esteem when it comes to our possession, finances, or even personal freedom. You might feel like you don't have enough. You might be looking at others and comparing and thinking, oh, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough luxury. I'm not having the life that I want. So that's a possibility. Again, you have to detach yourself from comparison, because that might come up during this time. Finally, depending on where Venus is in your chart and which house the current transit is in, then you'll be able to piece together how this is going to affect you during this Venus retrograde. So I'm going to jump into the houses. If you have Venus in Aries, or if you have Venus in your first house, this might be a time that you get really, really possessive of your partner, of your relationship. You might feel like your needs matters more than any other person. So be careful of that. So if you have Venus in Taurus or the second house, sensuality, beauty, creative talent, that might be affected during this time. So look out for maybe you want to change your hair color, maybe you're getting lazy, not creating. Look out for that. So if you have Venus in Gemini and in the third house, your friendship, your relationship with your friends, with your siblings, contact with others, that might be affected during this time. If you have Venus in Cancer or in the fourth house, which is the house of home, background, or your family, that is where this area can be affected for you. For Venus in Leo or in the fifth house, your creativity, your fun, you might be having less fun. You might have issues with your marriage or lovers, or maybe it might be the opposite. Maybe this might be a great time for you and your partner, or for your marriage. Who knows? If you have Venus in Virgo or in the sixth house, you might not be possessive during this time, but you will be very loyal, dependent, or maybe you're not loyal during this time. You might be very productive at work, or maybe you're not very productive at work. I'm not sure how this will show up for you. But if you have Venus in Libra or in the seventh house, this might be a time of justice for you. If you've been feeling like everybody's just running you over, this might be a time that you get your payback. Or if you've been the one running people over, this might be a time for you to get your payback. So also love, luxury, pleasure, beauty are all signified here that can be affected or can be improved. Who knows? If you have Venus in Scorpio or in the 8th house, you might be very possessive, passionate. Money here is very, very vital. So that might be affected. Who knows? Maybe you might get more money, or maybe there might be shortage. I'm not sure how this is going to affect you. So check your house, check your natal birth charts to see how this can show up for you. If you have Venus in Sagittarius or in the 9th house, your personal freedom is very vital for you. So that might be affected, or you might even get to travel. Truth and idea are also valued for you during this time. So if anybody's telling lies, you might just be like, I can't deal with your lie during this time. And that if that's in your relationship, it might cause a breakup or whatever. But yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to show up for you. So if you have Venus in Capricorn or in the 10th house, we know the 10th house is the house of public achievement, ambitious, materialistic. So that can show up for you is the house of career. So I'm not sure how that can show up for you. Maybe you might be getting improvements in your career, or maybe you might want to just change, but make sure, again, all of this, we all have to reflect, do some deeper assessments before you just make any changes, because sometimes during retrograde you're ready to make changes, but you have to make sure these are changes that are good for you. So for Venus in Aquarius or in the 11th house, your friendship, your education, your gains and wishes might be coming true, or they might be delayed. Who knows? So watch out for that. And lastly, for Pisces, or if you have Venus in Pisces, which is exalted, or Venus in 12th house, which is your creativity, your music, your love for spirituality, all of these parts of you, mystical matters can be affected during this time. So watch out for that. And that's all I have for you guys. Again, make sure that you check your natal sign to see how Venus in Leo retrograde can show up for you in a different way. For some, it might be improvement, but for others, it might be breakup and all losses. So don't just speculate with whatever people are putting out there on the internet saying you're going to break up, your marriage is going to be this and that, or you're doomed. No, it can work in both ways for you. Some might be very happy during this time, might have all the luxury they want, all of the beauty and fun they want, and some might be so. Don't just go with what you hear. Look at your birth charts and hope for the best. Always be positive. Whatever you a feeling is how whatever the outcome is going to be. So if you feel like it's going to be good for you, then that's what it's going to be for you. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you next time on my next video. Bye bye.